The book of Proverbs makes it very clear that complacency is associated with fools. But could complacency be showing up in a different way than you would expect? Well, that's the topic of this episode. I'm Ryan Howard. Welcome to Cutting Edge Faith. Now, I want to start with a quick verse here that says the key that we're looking at here today. It's Proverbs 1, verse 32. The second part of that verse says, "And the complacency of fools destroys them." Complacency destroys. Well, we better get clear on what complacency is. What comes to mind for you? For me, I think of things like laziness and sitting around and not doing anything, not caring about anything, to the point where just inactive and just not taking things seriously, not stewarding things well. And that is correct. That is a way to define complacency. But there's another aspect of it that I want to make sure that we understand, and that is that it could just be being satisfied in life to the point of idleness or even laziness, to where we're just not pushing. We're just sitting there, ho-hum, going with the flow, doing what we got to do, checking in, checking out, doing things, checking boxes. That is also a form of complacency. Now, I remember when I was in a job for a while, and there was a time in my career, and when I first started out, I was real gung-ho and all about the career and everything we got to do the next thing, and all for God's glory and get ready for what's coming next. I was in, several jobs later, and I found myself struggling with some things that I had not struggled with before. And when I slowed down and looked at how I was operating, I had 7 different projects that I was working on, and I saw that I wasn't even using the basics. I wasn't even using the project management and communication abilities that I had gained through all my experience, because I just went into it. I just went into it and just started, and I didn't slow down and actually think about what I was doing. Now, those projects were still successful. Those projects were still on track, but they weren't done as well as they could have been done. And that was a correction for me to slow down and not be complacent, for me to be intentional. Intention builds. We want to be intentional with everything that we're doing. Aristotle said, "We are what we repeatedly do." And so habits are important. The way we approach things is important, and everything we need to do with excellence. So I want to encourage you to look at some of the different areas of your life to say, is there anywhere that I might have had some complacency sneak in? Well, some of those areas are the physical health and nutrition, what you're eating, what you're intaking, what are you learning, what does your mental health look like? Are you looking at things that you shouldn't be looking at, or are you spending time doing things that are helpful for you? Are you endlessly scrolling, or are there other things that are better that could be taking up your time? How about friendships? How about your finances? How about your faith and your walk with Christ? Do you carve time out regularly to spend with the Lord? Do you spend time in the Word? Are you worshiping? Are you journaling? Are you doing those kinds of things? How about family? Are you prioritizing family? Are you prioritizing your work? What is it for you? And what about your surroundings, your environment? Are you set up for success? Well, these are just a few things that you can stop and think about. Is there anything that gets your attention where you need to stop being complacent? Ephesians chapter 5, starting in verse 15, says to look carefully how you walk, not as unwise, but as wise, making the best use of the time. It is so critical that we are intentional with everything that we're doing, and this is a message for me too. So will you take a moment and think about these things and take action? It's very easy to just consume information, to get it in your head, and not do anything with it. So what is it that you're going to do with this information? What is it? What step are you going to take? Let me know in the comments below and what resonated with you. Make sure you like and subscribe. Thank you for listening. God bless, and we'll see you in the next episode.